Hello, everybody. It is Professor Rocco, ya boy here, coming at you once again with another Age of Sigmar video. This video will be for our general series of classes, and we're going to be talking about how to analyze your playstyle. Because we've thrown around all these different things with playstyle this, playstyle that. What does it actually mean to play towards what you want to do? Because everyone's like, oh yeah, you buy an army to go fit your playstyle. And you're like, yeah, cool, what is it? What are the playstyles in Age of Sigmar? I know about like Magic the Gathering, there's blue control decks. I know that at one point green was like smash you, hit you. But no one actually goes into that in Age of Sigmar, so we're just here to go and relay some belay some fears. I don't know. You're gonna correct me in the comments, and we're gonna stop everyone freaking out. All right, everything is okay. So we also have a couple more questions here. Does your playstyle really affect the faction that you want to take? Can any faction play in any playstyle? Can you change your playstyle? I mean, a lot of this is going to be yes, but we're going to go into why, because that's why we have this class. So, starting off with, from my notes, let's just define what's going on here, all right? We've got 3 playstyles that come to my mind initially. And, you can say there's a bunch more, but we're going to just boil it down to 3, all right? We got aggressive, we've got defensive, we've got controlled. I threw in controlled instead of control, but you get the idea here, or you will at the end of this video. So let's start off with aggressive. This is just, I'm going to put all my stuff on the table and run at you. That's my plan. Because I don't care what your plan is, I'm going to hit you. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's every boxer in the world, and everyone who's believes they're an expert on fighting will say it. And this is that alpha strike list. This is, I'm going to come at you from all the angles. I'm going to have all the movement tricks to run up and punch you, destroy your hammers. Alpha strike all day, baby. This is, I'm going to win hard, win fast, win early, or I'm going to die trying. A lot of times you see this with newer players to war games because they just want to go at you. Sometimes you see this with older players in war games because they want a power fantasy. But a lot of the times, either way, it's going to be, I'm just going to run up and hit you, and I don't care what you're going to try to do. And all that can be okay. And this is no negative here. If you want to be aggressive, be aggressive. Go right ahead. It's a nice play style. It works. Next, we got defense. All right, this is defense wins championships. That's why I have the sports coach with the microphone. Let's go. Kind of a look here, but this is the mindset of you're gonna outlive, outlast. I don't care what all your stuff you're gonna throw at me. I've got too many negatives to hit me, to wound me. I've got after saves built in. All my synergies are I'm gonna live, and I will take you down over time in a war of attrition. And I don't care, man. This is a late game. This is if the early game win was turn 1 or turn 2, battle round 1, battle round 2. I'm looking for battle rounds 4, maybe 5. Because I'm just gonna outlast you. I'm gonna out heal you. I'm gonna out grind you down. And I'm gonna do that through summoning, through obscene healing, all the other things we've said before. And that's another legitimate play style. You're gonna win games with that. It works. It really does. Both of them work. Then we got this third play style here, control, or the controlled, where, my game plan is to mess up your game plan. And I'm going to control everything you do. That's, I got a clipboard here, because we are professional here at Rocco Ya Boy Enterprises. I'm a goober. That's what I am. So, this is, for a controlled play style, this is very reactionary. This is, I need to have all of the information. I need to be really familiar with what you're doing so I know how to stop it. All right? I'm also playing mind games with my opponent. This is like, we're playing 3D chess here. And even better, I'm trying to force you to make mistakes so I can capitalize on them. Now, every one of these play styles any player is going to capitalize on mistakes. That's not indicative of a control play style, but it's how we have the tools to do it. We are building specifically for that in mind, to pull our opponents from so many different angles. And it's where I end up falling in. And with a lot of our videos, it's kind of what I try to teach, because like I've said it a dozen or so videos. If you go for this alpha strike aggression, you need to come correct if you're coming for the king. And if you don't, you're gonna fall flat on your face. I said it the first few times with a bunch of cursing, but everyone was like, "Hey, let's clean this up a little bit." And then with the defensive thing, that could be great, but that could also sometimes feel a bit boring to me personally. So I like this controlled play style of and you can say controlled aggression, controlled defensive. It's all of these have parts of them where you need to know when to be aggressive and you need to know when to be defensive. And that's why when I'm like, oh yeah, my playstyle in Age of Sigmar, well, you can do all three over the course of a game. You can adapt to the stuff presented to you, and that's when you start getting these higher player skills here, and the skill floor rises from all the games you play, and you're like, okay, cool. I know my faction is Iron Jaws. I love an aggressive play style, right? That's great. But I also know I could build to be a bit more defensive and then counterpunch later in the game by forcing my opponent to come at like a large unit of Ard Boys that I can bring back for a command point and on a 4-up with the battalion or whatever it ends up being in all these different books. And you're like, okay, so my playstyle could have all three of these if I'm not overdoing it. And to me, that's what controlled really is going for. Now, I've said a lot of stuff here, and how does this apply to the actual game and the factions? Because I said Iron Jaws because they're known for their aggression, but let's think about Khorne. All right, I know this is weird, but Khorne, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull thrones. They go in there to try to mess you up. That's the lore. That's what they try to do. Is it always successful? Meh. There are lists where it's the 4 bloodthirsters and a battalion, sometimes 5 if you do the Wrath of the Everchosen add-on faction there, where you can break the behemoth cap, which who knows if in Age of Sigmar 3 that's all going to be a thing, but currently that is something you can do in Age of Sigmar 2. And you run up the board, one bloodthirster swings, the rest of them get to swing, you get some cool pile-in shenanigans. If you do it right, you're going to table your opponent on the top of turn 1. If you do it wrong, they're going to bottom of turn 1 kill 2 of them. 2 of those bloodthirsters there, maybe 3, and then if they W, it's game over. And you know what? That's okay. That's a nice aggressive, play style. Or you could be like Razor Tree Productions when I played him on his TTS stream, where you've got a lot of these minimum-sized units, MSU, where he's sending wave after wave of bodies for board control, and I can't kill him outright, because I'll overkill units, right? It's a unit of 10 wounds on like a 5-up save. Yeah, I'm going to kill it, bro, but I've only killed 10 models, and that's how Khorne can play kind of defensively, even though they don't have necessarily good armor saves or a lot of wounds. And you play through board control with that. And then you play this more controlled mind game style of, all right, where am I going to go and put my big hammer units into you? I'm going to try to force these mistakes and play that 3D chess here. And that's how Khorne can be versatile. And, he did that too by mixing in Beast of Chaos units into Khorne. And so many times, in so many ways here, dear viewer, follow me, camera guy. I know I got a new camera angle too, everybody. This is going great. Where now, I'm just gonna flat out say it. Sometimes people get so caught up in a faction, in the fluff, in the lore, or they see these net lists where it's like, okay, I have played with Blood Warriors forever. If I can't make them work, the faction is doomed. It's over. They can't be tanky. It's gone. And some people just shoehorn themselves. They just get so stuck and caught up on a unit. And then a new army book comes out, a new supplement comes, and it's like, well, you know what? It's trash because I can't play what I want to play. And especially when things like Chaos or Cities of Sigmar come out, you know what? These books can take from such a large roster of units. Like a Khorne, Blades of Khorne can take from Beasts of Chaos, can take from Slaves to Darkness. You've got access to mortals, you got access to demons, you've got allies that you can bring in like Be'lakor. The new Soulblight Gravelords. They changed how skeletons work. Instead of it being like 900 attacks for a unit of 40 dudes with Dance Macabre and all the buffs you can get, now skeletons are a great tar pit, you know? Uh, Zombies have a 6-inch pylon where you can go and do crazy stuff like beat like my beloved Cities of Sigmar. I have handgunners that if you charge into them, they get to shoot you. You know, you can beat that with that 6-inch pylon. You're playing the same game as Sisters of Slaughters and Yetis and the Blood Gullet Ogre Trap off the top of my head. You're doing crazy stuff. You're looking for utility here. And it's not the same book as before. And, I'm sorry about that. But if we're playing the same book for the last 10 years, then we're fantasy battles. And that died out for a reason. We gotta look to the future. Our game of Age of Sigmar is still young, and I'm happy that Games Workshop is trying new things and trying to go out of the box. Will they always work? Hell no! But one curse that I'm allowed in the video, all right? But you know what? At the end of the day, that's okay. And if you're just collecting these for the cool models, that's great. Make your diorama, that's nice. If you want to go in to try some of this tournament stuff, you know what? Half the stuff I'm gonna say probably won't even work in your meta because it's little Jimmy playing with Nighthaunt. And we're trying to think about how to beat Seraphon and some 5-head brain whatever. And you get out there and there's little Jimmy kicking everybody's butt because no one even thinks Nighthaunt's a faction anymore. And that's what's so cool about our game and why you gotta always give yourself a chance. And, bringing it back to these play styles here, once you figure out what works for you in your local scene, stick to it. It's okay that you're playing your army differently and with different units, If it works for you, that is all that needs to happen.
Hey everyone, I'm Rocco, your girl, with your fun fact of the week. And this fun fact goes out to all of our newer players. Did you know that in order to go to an ITC tournament, all of your army has to be painted? Now, that definitely begs the question, are you a person who only paints the army under the pressure of a tournament? Or is it part of your hobbying to paint for fun? Let us know in the comments. And see everyone next week. Back to Rocco, ya boy.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode. Like and subscribe. And as I like saying at the end of all our videos, class dismissed.